stuffed peppers, and here are the ingredients. Okay, now you have your diced tomatoes, 1 can. You got 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, 4 cloves of garlic, 4 bell peppers, 1 or 2 small onions. It's supposed to be a half a cup of onions. Then you have your rice and your parsley flakes, as well as your Parmesan cheese and salt and pepper to taste. Now you take all your ingredients that I have right here and you're going to season your casserole dish, and then you're going to wash those peppers really good. Very important that they're washed very, very good. Then you take a nice sharp knife after you set your oven for 475 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're going to cut the tops of the peppers off, and then you're going to cut the bottoms off of those that don't quite stand up straight. And then you scoop out the innards, the seeds and things of that nature, to include the ribs of the peppers. Then you're going to take the caps that you cut off and you're going to put them back on the peppers. And the reason for that is because you're going to cover it with tin foil or aluminum foil, whichever you want to call it, really tight, and you're going to put it in the oven at 475 degrees for approximately 15 minutes, so they basically are parboiled. Then you take your 1 pound of ground beef and you put it in your skillet. You don't have to put any type of oil in the skillet because the ground beef has enough oil in it. And then you put your garlic, and that's 4 cloves of garlic, chopped up really fine, and your half a cup of onions that are chopped up real fine. And then you stir, incorporating all the ingredients, which is very, very important, that the meat gets spices and everything in it so that it can absorb that delicious flavor of the onions and the garlic. Then you want to just brown it a little bit, and after you browned it, then you're going to add a few more items in there, and one of them is going to be the rice, but that comes later. So, but in the meantime, while your ground beef is browning, you're going to boil some water, put your rice in, and cook your rice simmered for approximately 15 minutes. And now you're going to throw the can of red tomato chunks in there, and you're going to stir it up real good. And also your 4 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now that the rice looks like it is boiling, and we're going to give it 15 minutes, now we're going to put the dry ingredients in, which is salt, pepper, and parsley flakes. And then we're going to incorporate that to make sure that it all melds together like a flavorful army. And there we go. Now, the peppers are parboiled. You pull them out of the oven, and then you open it up, and that's really hot. And then after that, you just let them stay there and let them cool off just a little bit as your stuffing is cooking. And now here's your rice. And you want to take your rice and you want to put it in the stuffing, in the meat, and incorporate that really good so that it all mixes together and absorbs the flavors. Now you want to scoop your stuffing into your peppers and try to get as much in a pepper as you possibly can, and try to fill up all the voids within the pepper. And then you take your peppers and you put them back in the oven with the covers on, tightly sealed with aluminum foil, for approximately 20 minutes at 475 degrees Fahrenheit. But in the meantime, while that is all baking, I'm going to grab myself a glass of wine. And I do believe we have a guest star today on the show. And I do believe that guest star is Benny. There's Benny. And Riley. They come by to say hello and stick their nose in everybody's business. And there's the clock alarm just went off, and now the peppers are cooked 3/4 of the way. So we remove the caps and we check it out, and look at that. Isn't that delicious? It's nice, it's moist, it's flavorful. It's absolutely incredible. Now, we're going to do two things here. We're going to take some of that leftover gravy that we made, and we're going to pour it over the peppers. But first, we're going to put some Parmesan cheese on there, and we're going to put it in the oven, make it crust up a little bit for around 10 to 15 minutes while the sauce that you're going to pour over the top of the peppers is cooking. And you let that cook in there, and the peppers in the oven for around 15 minutes, or until the crust starts to develop on the peppers. That delicious Parmesan cheese crust. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the peppers out of the oven, and there's the finished product right there. There's the Parmesan cheese that has crusted up a bit. And now we're going to put the sauce that we made on top of the peppers. And when your guests or whoever is going to eat this meal start to dig in, they have to go through that goodness and to reach the crust and the goodness below the crust. And it's absolutely incredible. So enjoy. Kids are going to love it. Bon appetit.